Jessica's holding her hands, and Fabian was looking at her.
I did not kill that little girl.
I just want to know what you did.
I did not dismember it.
Did he penetrate Victoria with his...
Yes.
Would we find your DNA on Victoria?
No. Hell no. No, man. That's crazy, man.
Albuquerque, New Mexico. A city of painted skies and quiet desert evenings. Families here speak of sunsets that turn the mountains gold, and of neighborhoods where children still ride their bikes after school. But on one August morning in 2016, that calm was replaced by sirens, disbelief, and grief. What began as a little girl's birthday would end as one of the darkest chapters in the city's history. Within hours, a single apartment complex became the center of national attention, and a 10-year-old child named Victoria Martens became a symbol for something far larger than one tragedy. Her story would expose deep failures within families, institutions, and the systems designed to keep children safe. Victoria Martens was born on August 23, 2006. From the moment she could talk, she was full of questions about everything she saw. Teachers remembered her as polite, curious, and eager to help classmates. She loved animals, bright colors, and sketching little stories in her notebooks. Her dream, she once told a teacher, was to become a teacher herself. So, kids can learn and smile. She lived with her mother, Michelle Martens, in a modest apartment in Albuquerque's West Mesa neighborhood. They were not wealthy, but they had stability, a close circle of friends, and Victoria's easy laughter that filled the small home. Michelle was a single mother who worked long shifts in retail. Neighbors described her as friendly but often tired. Seeking companionship, she turned to social media and online dating. There, she met a man named Fabian Gonzales. He appeared charming, confident, and helpful. Before long, he and his cousin, Jessica Kelley, were spending time at the apartment. To outsiders, it seemed like an ordinary arrangement. Adults sharing rent, helping each other. But beneath the surface, subtle signs of instability were starting to form. August 23, 2016, should have been a day of celebration. Victoria had just turned 10. Classmates saw her that afternoon wearing a paper crown from a school party, her face bright with excitement. She told friends she couldn't wait to have cake later that evening. As the sun set over Albuquerque, the desert cooled and the city lights flickered on. Neighbors later recalled hearing small bursts of laughter from the apartment, then the usual quiet of the night. But by dawn, flashing red and blue lights pierced the darkness. Emergency services had been called to the complex after reports of smoke. When first responders entered, they found evidence that something terrible had taken place. The details were unclear at first. Investigators spoke only of a disturbance involving a child. What mattered in that moment was the realization that a young life was gone. The news broke before sunrise. Albuquerque woke to headlines that no parent ever wants to read. Reporters gathered outside the apartment, cameras reflected off the police tape, and residents stood silently on sidewalks, holding candles that same night. Detectives moved quickly to secure evidence. 3 adults from the apartment, Michelle Martens, Fabian Gonzales, and Jessica Kelley, were taken in for questioning. What followed were long hours of conflicting statements, shifting stories, and confusion. Each person described the night differently. Investigators studied phone logs, text messages, and surveillance footage from nearby stores. They retraced steps, built timelines, and consulted forensic experts to determine what had actually happened. The task was enormous, not only because of the complexity of the case, but because emotions within the community were running high. As weeks turned into months, the story evolved from a private family tragedy into a public reckoning. How could a 10-year-old have faced such danger while living under the care of multiple adults? And more importantly, had there been earlier signs that no one acted upon? Soon, a disturbing pattern began to emerge. Records revealed that the state's child welfare agency, known as the Children, Youth, and Families Department, had received at least 5 prior reports concerning the Martens household. Some were routine welfare checks. Others expressed deeper concern about the people spending time around Victoria. Each report triggered paperwork and short visits, but nothing led to lasting intervention. Caseworkers were juggling hundreds of files each, and limited staffing meant delays between referrals and follow-ups. In hindsight, every small warning looked like a missed opportunity. When these facts became public, outrage spread across New Mexico. Citizens demanded reform. Parents filled town hall meetings asking how so many red flags could be ignored. The governor ordered an independent review. For many, Victoria's case symbolized what happens when an overworked system loses its ability to see the danger hidden in plain sight. Legal proceedings stretched across the next 6 years. Prosecutors built their arguments carefully, separating speculation from proven fact. Michelle Martens eventually entered a plea agreement acknowledging her role in failing to protect her daughter. In 2018, she was sentenced to 12 years in prison. Jessica Kelley, whose criminal history was already extensive, also accepted a plea deal a year later and received 44 years. Fabian Gonzales chose to go to trial. The courtroom was packed day after day with reporters, families, and community members. Evidence was presented, witnesses testified, and the jury listened to the long chain of events leading to the night of the tragedy. In 2022, the verdict arrived. Guilty on multiple counts related to neglect and tampering with evidence. He was sentenced to 37.5 years in prison. Though justice seemed to be served on paper, many residents felt uneasy. Could prison sentences alone heal a community or prevent future cases? The answer was clearly no. Something larger needed to change. In the aftermath, state officials launched a comprehensive internal investigation. The review uncovered procedural gaps, misplaced reports, and lack of coordination between agencies. Critical information had moved too slowly from schools and hospitals to caseworkers. Some calls were never logged properly. Others sat unresolved in overflowing inboxes. The city's leadership promised to do better. Albuquerque's mayor ordered new funding for child protection teams. Additional social workers were hired, and digital tracking systems were upgraded to ensure no referral could vanish unnoticed. Training programs were overhauled to help staff identify high-risk households faster. The governor signed legislation requiring that any report of serious endangerment be reviewed within 24 hours, no exceptions. Civil groups, faith organizations, and teachers' unions joined forces to promote public awareness. Out of heartbreak came reform. Not perfect, not instant, but real progress grounded in painful lessons. In the months after the tragedy, Albuquerque residents came together in extraordinary ways. Candlelight vigils filled Civic Plaza and neighborhood parks. Hundreds gathered, holding pictures of Victoria surrounded by flowers and stuffed animals. The air was heavy with silence, yet united by a shared purpose, remembrance, and change. Local artists painted murals honoring her life. If Victoria Martens were here today, she would be a young adult stepping into her own future. Perhaps she would have followed her dream of becoming a teacher, guiding other children the way she once wanted to. Her absence remains a wound for Albuquerque, but her influence endures in every policy meeting, every training seminar, and every vigilant neighbor who refuses to ignore a child in need. Her case forced a city and a nation to confront an uncomfortable truth. Protection requires participation. Systems can fail when people assume someone else will act. True safety comes when every adult chooses awareness over silence. Through reforms, education, and remembrance, Victoria's legacy continues to grow. She reminds us that even from tragedy, purpose can emerge, and that the most powerful form of justice is prevention.